Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Cadola RPM Automatic, reference number CD1055-02. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. No matter how I get a watch in on this channel, I'm always going to give it my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'll be leaving a link down in the video description that takes you right to the Cadola website. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, so you just go there, check out the colors that they have, and make your choice. The full retail price for this watch is $520 US. That's before any taxes, sales, coupons, customs, etc. Retail is $520, but I'm currently seeing it at $338 US. I'm not sure how long that price will last. It might be part of the sale, or they might be trying to clear out the stock. So the watch comes in 5 different colorways that you can see on screen now. The one we're looking at today is the dark blue. The watch case is made of 3160L stainless steel. It has a mineral crystal with anti-reflective coating, push-pull crown, screw-down case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. Cadola is a brand that just hit my radar recently. They are a sub-brand of Spinnaker watches, and that's probably why. They have some really cool designs, including this very automotive-inspired design. But are their watches any good? That's what I'm here to help you guys figure out. But before we do, let's do a quick wrist check. Wearing one that just came in yesterday. This is the Fairsuit Tano watch. Absolutely beautiful watch. Really hard to photograph, so it's going to be an interesting review. But yeah, review for this will be coming soon. But that thing just looks awesome. Look at that dial. All right, let's get the dimensions out of the way. Got a case diameter of 44 millimeters. Got a thickness of 13.9 millimeters. The strap width is 23.5 millimeters. There are no real lugs on this thing, so lug to lug is 44 millimeters. And on the supplied leather strap, it weighs 86 grams right on the dot. So this is a big watch, 44 by 14 thick, but it wears kind of like a tuna style watch. There's obviously no lugs to it, so the 44 millimeters shouldn't really scare you guys. It wears pretty good, but it just kind of sits like a pill on the wrist, and that's kind of the design they're going for. It looks like an instrument gauge. I think it looks really, really cool, and I think it wears really nice. It's super comfortable as well, so I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and I can absolutely pull this off. It wears a lot like a tuna type style watch. Obviously no lugs or anything like that, and very flat. It just sits kind of like a puck on the wrist. Some people like that, some people don't. I leave that up to you guys, but I definitely think it looks pretty cool. You can see the legibility is just fine. I got no issues with the legibility on this thing. The crystal is excellent as well, so yeah, overall pretty satisfied with how it looks. And popping out in a little bit different lighting, you can see here, got a little bit of a sunburst on the inner dial there, but you can see the blue and the different colors that are on the dial here. I think it all looks pretty good though. I will say it is a very comfortable watch. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. The strap is actually pretty nice as well, and yeah, you can definitely see right there that's a problem. Talking about right there. I cannot put a different strap on this watch for you guys, so thankfully the strap is pretty good. We'll talk about it later, but yeah, you're not going to be able to swap the straps on this thing. A little bit of a bummer. So I say we go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, let's talk about the case finishing. Case finishing is pretty simple, but very nicely executed. It is a fully brushed case. You can see here circular brushing all around the case there, and it is nicely done. Really fine satin brushing. It's excellent. Nice consistency all the way around. They did a good job on it. You got a 6.8 millimeter push-pull crown with the Cadola C there. Nicely signed, nicely engraved. Good grip on that too. Not that you really need it, but yeah, really nicely done. You can see they have a bottom chamfer here, which really just makes everything super soft on wrist. Like I said, it is a very comfortable watch. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to tell you. The lugs here, you can see there's no lug width on this thing. The strap is 23.5 millimeters. And that width right there is 12.5 millimeters according to my caliper. So if you want to cut a strap, there's your dimensions. Really interesting. It's held in by a double-sided screw. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is right there. You can see it is a double-sided screw, so you need 2 screwdrivers to take that out. I really wouldn't mess with it. The strap is actually pretty decent. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. But yeah, the case finishing on this is really nice. You have a screw-down case back here, simple notches to get a tool in there. If you ever need to get to the NH35 display case back, I'll mention right here whether it's sapphire or not. But yeah, I think it does look really good. It's got the Cadola branding on it, so it does cover up the movement, but thankfully the NH35 is not a great looking movement anyway, so I'm not too bummed that they're covering it up a little bit. Little spec sheet around the outside. Everything down here, nicely done, nice and soft, and like I said, I keep saying it's just a comfortable watch to wear. Yeah, really nicely done. All right, let's talk about the crystal on this. It is a mineral crystal, so it's not sapphire, which at $520, I'd like to see a sapphire crystal. But I will say, mineral crystal, it's less reflective than sapphire. This one has plenty of blue AR coating that you can see there. So it keeps the dial nice and legible, which is a huge deal on a watch like this, since the dial is kind of the star of the show. But it's a really nicely done mineral crystal. You can see here, a little bit of distortion at the extreme angles. That just tells me that the underside curve is not the same as the outer curve, but for the most part, that distortion that you see there is really just at the very extreme angles. Plenty of distortion on the edges there, though. I think it's a really nicely done crystal. I just wish it was sapphire. All right, getting up close and talking about the dial on this thing, kind of the star of the show. It's a very gauge cluster like setup. I think it looks really good. It reminds me of like an old 50s or 60s muscle car. Yeah, really cool though. I like it a lot. You have this blue ring on the outside there. It's just a smooth blue ring. And then you have these concentric circles on the inner ring there. It is a little bit recessed, as you can see there. You have your hours on the inside, minutes on the outside, and then you have this blank space down here where it says automatic. You got a couple screws there for decoration, and then the date complication there in the middle. I think it all looks really good. I like the Cadola branding. I think it's pretty nice. And then you get this 1946 down here. I'm assuming that's, where they got the inspiration for a gauge or for a dial like this. So yeah, I think it all looks really nice. The handset is very cool. Skeletonized minute hand there, reaching right out with the Lume tip on it. And then again, a skeletonized hour hand there. It all just looks really cool. You got the blue and the orange and the red and the yellow. It all just kind of works together. I like it a lot. I think the capped second hand is also really cool. Really big cap on that. A white painted second hand there with an orange lollipop. So yeah, I think the dial on this thing, really cool. Very interesting. And if you're going for an automotive inspired watch, this is it. This you're not going to get more automotive inspired than this. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job on it. You're going to pop up a Lume shot here. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. The other two watches, they are really good at the Lume. This one, not as good, not as strong. It's about what I expected, especially for a watch like this. I think it's acceptable. It's pretty good Lume. It's just not great Lume, but it is definitely not really bad Lume. So yeah, that's a bonus for me. So yeah, I think the Lume on this watch, it's okay. It's about what I expected, and I'm happy with it for the watch's design. All right, talking about the movement in the crown. So the movement inside is the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. If you guys aren't aware about the movement, they're accurate, they're reliable, they're cheap, they're easy to work on, they're robust, they're going to last a very long time, and I've had really no issues with them. Every once in a while you get a dud, but for the most part they're super accurate, super reliable, and I like the fact that they're using it in it. The movement is 21,600 beats per hour, so 6 ticks of the second hand every second, 40 hours of power reserve. It hacks, it hand winds, it does everything you need it to do. Here's how this one has been running. I didn't grab a screenshot beforehand, but I just took one. There you go. So 16 seconds a day, a little bit fast for a watch like this, especially in this price point. I'd like to see them regulate that a little bit better. But these movements are kind of all over the place. Roughly, my average is about 10 seconds a day fast. So that's acceptable for a watch like this, in my opinion. The movement is operated by this 3 o'clock push-pull crown. Again, nicely signed, nice grip on the crown. First position is your hand winding, feels nice and smooth. The second position is your date change. You can see there. Nicely done, nicely centered, everything looks fine. And then the third position, obviously, is where you set the time. Hacks the movement every single time. Feels good, looks good. No real complaints with the NH35. I do wish this one was a little bit better regulated, but other than that, I'm fine with an NH35. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. The strap is actually pretty good. I'm happy to say that because it's going to be really tough to swap that out just because of the design of it. It's kind of this big hole rally strap. It's a good length. I'm kind of right in this area for my 7.5-inch wrist, so it's going to go up to about an 8.5 and probably down to a 6.5. But really nicely done. I like the brown. I like the stitching. It's nice and clean. The holes look nice and clean. Everything is, I mean, it's a nice quality strap. It feels good, it looks good, and it smells good. You've got the genuine leather branding here, Cadola branding here, one floating keeper and one stationary keeper. You've got a solid stainless steel buckle as well. Got some design on that thing. It's a nice buckle, really nice buckle. It's nice and solid and substantial. Yeah, no issues with that at all. Yeah, it's just the fact that they didn't go with standard lug width. I want them to use just a standard lug width. I guess I can see why they didn't do it, but I definitely would have it preferred, you know, maybe going down to a 22 millimeter strap and then just using regular lugs. I think would be a little bit nicer, especially for strapaholics like me. But I will say the strap is nice and flexible right out of the box. It's very comfortable, and it's not one that you want to replace. So I think it looks good with the watch, and it's a very comfortable strap. So it's a good thing that you can't replace this thing easily, and they did provide you with a nice one. So there you go, guys. That is the Cadola Automatic RPM. Actually a really cool watch. I like the dial design on this thing. It reminds me of old car gauge clusters, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a huge car nut. So yeah, it's a very cool dial design, very cool concept in general, kind of that puck. I guess the big miss for me is the mineral crystal. I would like to see sapphire, but the fact that this isn't going to be an everyday piece, I think it's okay that it's not mineral, but you know, $550 retail for this thing. I'd like to see sapphire on it. And then the straps, I'd like to be able to swap the straps on this thing. I can't do that really easy. So yeah, a little bit of a bummer there too. But I will say, as a package, as a whole, this thing looks really cool. It's got a very interesting design. I like the branding, and the quality is there. The finishing on this watch is excellent. And yeah, you're getting a solid movement, decent lume, all that fun stuff. So if you guys like the watch, go to the link down below, check it out. But I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.